What's up, everybody? I just posted some cool posts on Facebook, I think, or Instagram. One of the two. Um, as like people and Christians and everything, we have seasons, right? I don't know what to call this season other than like I've never dealt with depression before like this. And for those of you who have gone through this for a very long time, my emotional hat is off to you. But I want to share a good thing that happened to me recently. I don't know how to I'm not going to describe depression because I don't want anybody to be triggered because I hate that crap. But 2 days ago, 2 days ago or so, was my favorite band came to town, and I had bought these tickets in June. As soon as I seen it on Instagram, I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I bought 3 tickets for me and my friends that usually go. And my sister and our other friend, Christina, she she got sick, and then somebody had to work. But anyways, I was like, all right, well, I started feeling like, well, then it's not going to be like the same kind of thing because we're the ones that always go to the metal concerts because nobody else likes metal like I do except for those people, that I thought of. So I was in a funk that day, and I was like, no, I put my tickets online to buy them back. And I was like, I can get like a couple $100 back. That'll be cool, and use it for this. And then one of my friends, my friend Dave, shout out to Dave, my brother, man. He's like my brother's keeper, man. He was like, yo, basically just give me motivation to go and everything. And I was like, no, just, I was like ready to let depression win and just fucking sit there and just cry in my bed and fucking just sleep all day. But he said something as a brother would. He gave some tough love. And that always works for me. It always works for me. And my brother knows it. So I actually I did go to the concert. Went to the concert. And most of you guys that know me, whether it's personally or on here, you know that I don't like driving. But I drove for about let's say about an hour to Phoenix, like not by myself, like my friends were with me, but for me that's a huge accomplishment because normally I can't do anything without leaving the house with like medicine on me and in me to be able to go do anything. And so I was actually really happy about that. So there was a couple wins, and I even drove from the concert to another spot, which took about 45 minutes, and that gave me a lot of, made me feel a lot better. I dealt with anxiety most of my life, but I've never dealt with depression. So I wanted to say that to get people in your corner that are going to push you and that know you well enough to say the right things. Because, man, if I would have, my buddy was motivating me. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if I don't go, I'm going to be horrible. My favorite bands, my favorite band is Parkway Drive. And I almost didn't go because I've been letting PTSD and stress and trauma and depression just rule over me for a while. And so I've been trying to fight that, fighting the bad thoughts and I feel like your brain is telling you, oh, just stay inside because everything's better inside, you're safe. And I was like, no, I don't want to be safe. Like, I never used to be like this. I was never safe. My friends would say, Dub, what word? Wild, crazy, adventurous. And it's still in here. It's still in here, but I gotta fight so hard every day to get it out. So my shout outs to my friends, Corwin, Rebecca, and Dave. Man, I'm glad I don't have to think about I'm glad I don't have to think about what yesterday would have been like if I didn't go. And I owe that all to my friends. I owe that to God. I thank the Lord yesterday. I was like, man, just smiled when I got there. I was like, it's hard to admit sometimes that you need help. I take all these medicines, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And I know a lot of it probably is what you're putting into your body, your mind, your spirit, all that stuff. And for the past couple of years, right before I got divorced, I noticed I started drinking more and more Red Bulls just to be able to go to the gym. And I've just been losing so much drive and ambition to go do stuff. And I don't know if I told everybody that watches this channel, but I was doing the kayak thing, and basically they told me, oh yeah, you just gotta ask for some permits and apply for them. Oh, okay, cool. And I did that, and they denied me. And I was like, for the past couple months, man, that really, really hit me hard. I didn't think it was gonna hit me that hard, but it hit me hard, because it's the first time in a long time that I took a step out in faith. Bought all those kayaks, and I did so much work, bought so much stuff, and then built a trailer and all that stuff, and then just denied. And I was like, I just laughed about it at first, but now it's but anyways, that really Spartan kicked me right in the chest. And I was like, for the past 2 or 3 months, I've just been living in my house. I'll go on hikes, and I'll have panic attacks, and I don't usually have panic attacks on hikes. And I'll be so stressed out, and I'm alone. Well, I think I'm alone. Say it that way. I was considering giving up this little rent, but every time I think about it, I'm like, no, because then I'm just giving in to whatever, the sickness, the depression. That wouldn't make it easy. It would make it easier for about 5 seconds, and I start crying. And I don't like, I just have no drive past couple of years, especially this past year. You know, they say time heals all wounds. I think time added with friends and good times will cancel out the bad times, as long as you forgive yourself for any part you played in it and let it go. You know, I've said on here before that divorce is not the greatest, and anytime I hear about anybody getting divorced, I pray, even if I don't know that person. I'm like, either I pray, hopefully, that they can stay together and that, you know, God can perform a miracle, or if it's not in his will, maybe, I don't know. If it's, you know, the other person just wants to leave, whoever that is, man or woman, I pray so deeply for them, because if I didn't have my family and friends here, I would not be alive. I know that. There's so many times I could have made mistakes, and I didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't. But anyways, you know, I like to make my videos raw when I'm feeling the emotion, so hopefully that you can relate to, you know, but whatever your stumbling block is right now, get some friends to help you walk over it, or get some friends to carry you over it. Then grab a flamethrower and light it on fire and watch it burn to the ground. That's my kind of thing. I like that, you know, in the way I think. But I say this as somebody who isolates like crazy. If God sends you a friend and texts you or calls you, do your best to answer that, because it can change your life. Sunday was the concert. I think today's Tuesday or Wednesday. I have no idea what it is. But you know, I'm just so glad I went. And the first thing I did is, you know, everybody doing their thing. I was like, hey, we got to find the merch. Went right to the Parkway Drive merch and got a cool hat and a shirt, and that was so cool, man. And you know, there was other people too, not just my friend Dave, but like my sister and some other people. Man, that's your favorite band, dude. You gotta go. And the depression and the anxiety is telling me, no, just stay home. I'm like, no, I can't. And it wasn't until my friend Dave said, you know, this is an even more reason to go. And like, I want to take it spiritually real quick. Say you're going to a church or a Bible study, and man, like the enemy is working so hard, and your fear and your mind and your trauma are telling you no. And then when you go to that, and then you realize the blessing that you just received from being there, and people are like, hey, man, Dub, we missed you, this and that. And I'm like, people miss me? I'm not used to that. Or my mind doesn't want me to be used to that. And so I'm trying to do more things like that. So if you watch this 15-minute video, I appreciate it. Everybody who... It seems minuscule in my mind, but I know it's not. And it might seem like minuscule in your mind. You know, I have all these people in my corner just helping me go to a concert. And you might think that that's silly or weak or whatever it is, because that's, what we tell ourselves. But then when, I got to put on my flat bill Parkway Drive hat that night, and I even jumped in the mosh pit for the last 2 or 3 songs, and I kept, I was on the edge, and I was making sure. I saw a couple girls got knocked over, so I walked in there, and I was like, there's a couple other of us big guys picking people up and, kind of pushing people back out. And I was like, I kept thinking, well, if I get in there, my hip might hurt, this might hurt. And I was like, you know what? I can't live like that no more. And I just snugged up my hat and jumped in and had a blast. Almost got knocked down a couple times. There was no fights. I wasn't thinking about fighting. I was just pure adrenaline. And I felt like myself, like I haven't felt in years, in a very long time, within that 20 minutes of moshing. And I did take some ibuprofen afterwards, but the next day I thought I was gonna be dying. I wasn't. And so it was pretty awesome. So there's definitely ways to overcome this, and I'm having a somewhat rough day today too, but I'll share it real quick. It's because it's not a coincidence. I go out here to get my truck, and I already locked the door of the house. I get out here, and my keys aren't out here. I'm like, oh, man. And I know my keys to my dad's shop are in my truck. And I'm like, oh, dude, come on. So I, tried to get in the house, and it didn't work. And I'm like, dang. And I've been depressed all day. I don't want to talk to anybody. But in that moment, I was forced to reach out. I called my dad, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm painting the limos. And I'm like, oh, sweet. So you're at the limo shop. And I asked for help. It's what the hardest part of anything of depression is, asking for help or following through with hanging out with people. And so I was like, hey, can you grab my on my motorcycle keychain? Literally this last weekend, I copied the house key and I put it on my bike keychain, because I always forget. I've been forgetting stuff. And so luckily I just put a brand new key on my key ring, because I have, I separate my keys. I know it's stupid. You're probably like, what? Why? But stupid. But anyways, I had to call my dad, and I was waiting in the backyard, and Buddy was with me, and we were I was throwing the balls around, and Dad came, and I opened the door, and I went back, grabbed my keys, and that's honestly what inspired me to make this video, because in the most uncomfortable feelings and emotions and everything is what I felt. Maybe God let me, or had me, whatever your perspective is, get locked out, because I was so down and out. I was thinking bad thoughts, and then I had to actually call somebody, which, if you have depression, you don't want to do that. So I was forced to do that, and I couldn't leave Buddy in the backyard, because I don't want to be on the leash out, and it's 80 degrees, and I don't want to be okay, I'm gonna walk all the way over to my dad's shop and then walk back. So it was actually a blessing from God. I'm taking this as a blessing from God that I got locked out of my house this morning, and now I feel so much better, because anytime I'm in anybody's presence, man or woman, my dad, anybody, I feel so much better. I get my energy from other people. And that's why I hate depression so much, is because I'm not to say that all introverted people are depressed. I know that's not what I'm saying. But I'm extroverted, and I have to be around people, because it gives me energy, and it feels like it gives me life. And so now I'm like, okay, Now I'm gonna go do the things I thought I was gonna do on my to-do list. So I'm happy that I got locked out of my car and in the house. So I just want to say that, and I know it's 20 minutes, but again, just, you know, if you watch my videos, you can kind of see what's going on, but I am so glad for so many things right now, and I really hope this video and the message behind it helps you. And like I said in my videos, and if you want to chat, you want to talk, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling low, you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling PTSD, the hardest thing for us to do is ask for help, but it takes the strength of a warrior to ask for help. It really does. So hope you feel better today. If you're watching this when you're feeling bad, if you're feeling good, praise the Lord God. And so, you know, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and try to think positively, and don't beat yourself up for all this. Like, I'm not beating myself up, I'm just melancholy. So later.